anybody who thinks that you don't have to vote, or you think, well, I didn't like Trump, so I'm not going to vote this time. Let me tell you something. We are a nation in crisis. The the fire chief of Atlanta, a decorated hero, African-American hero, was a Christian, is a Christian, and I've met him and spent time with him. He was conducting a Bible study for men, nothing to do with his job as fire chief. And he wrote a small book to go along with the Bible study, talking about a biblical view of sexuality, which of course holds that's, sex is between a man and a woman in marriage. Pretty basic stuff, right? Because of that, an LGBTQ activist in the city of Atlanta said, I don't like this. I'm going to go after this guy. I'm going to get him fired. They got him fired. This great man was fired for daring in his own time to espouse a fundamental Christian view of human sexuality. We are living in a time where if you don't understand that religious liberty is under attack, think about that. This is gruesome stuff, folks. This means that if you dare share an opinion that some people don't like, people are going to come after you. We need people like Donald Trump and like the judges that he's appointing to protect all Americans. This is not us versus them. This isn't Christians versus non-Christians. This is true Americans who understand that in this country, everybody is allowed to have their own view of things. That's protected by the Constitution. And the fact that we need judges to assert these most basic rights established by the founders, it's pretty bad. But if you want to know why you need to get serious about voting in the midterms and serious about understanding what makes America tick, this is a good time.
All right, let's talk about the book, Donald Drains the Swamp. It's looks like a children's book. I'm sure there's some lessons in there for adults as well, though.
Well, honestly, I think we need some humor. We're living at a time when people get really serious and bitter, and and I thought to myself, we need to be able to laugh. And I thought, in a lot of ways, Donald Trump is like a folk hero to so many people at these rallies. He's really like a folk hero. And I thought, I want to write a book really for adults, a humor book to celebrate this folk hero, Donald, who's draining the swamp. And so I wrote a book called Donald Drains the Swamp. But a lot of people see it as a kid's book, too. It is a kid's book. Why? Because it's not bitter. It's not angry political humor. It's fun. I hope to be a happy warrior in the way that Reagan was. We're talking about important things. We're talking about what makes America great, what America is. This is a great way to explain that to our kids. And at the end of the book, Donald, after he drains the swamp, they want to make him the new king. And he says, no, 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 no. You're a free people now. Free people don't have kings. A king tells people what to do, and they have to do it. But a free people tells their leaders what to do, and the leaders have to do it. And they say, oh, you mean like a president? And he goes, yeah. And if that's what you're looking for, I'm your caveman. And so he becomes the first president. And it really is, it's meant to be funny. There's a couple of funny characters. The swamp is a bipartisan swamp. If you look at the cover of the book, you'll notice it's bipartisan. There's a guy with half glasses who cries a lot, crying some kind of dinosaur. There's also the biggest, baddest.
I think I know what you're talking about there.
The biggest, baddest swamp creature, though, is the Georgosaurus. Very scary. Hungarian billionaire dinosaur.
The Georgosaurus, yeah.
The Georgosaurus. And there's a blue bird that likes to tweet. There's a lot of humor in the book. It's really meant to help us to laugh and to celebrate where we are right now, instead of getting serious about it. It's the kind of thing you could give to a liberal friend, kind of as a joke. It's not mean. They probably will laugh along with it.
What kind of letter grade would you give Donald Trump so far on his ability to drain the swamp? Because his administration has dealt with some issues with Tom Price and some of the others, maybe taking some largesse with the government accessibility. Brock Long just had to make a settlement, the FEMA director. How is Trump doing when it comes to draining the swamp?
Well, with all the mistakes he's made, he still gets an A. How about that? I think that he is so excited about doing things. He hasn't done everything right, but what he has gotten right has been so wonderful that as far as I'm concerned, he still gets an A. I can give you all of my criticisms, certain things he said or tweeted or done or not done, but let me tell you something. In this climate in which we're in, I thank God that he's the president of the United States. He has real chutzpah, that's to use a New York word. He has courage. We need that. The way he stood up for Kavanaugh, I will tell you, most of the other folks who ran for president, I don't think they would have had the courage. And I think in this time, when you're facing real nastiness, you need courage. So I have to tell you, I'm really proud of what he's done so far. Absolutely.